What's up, guys? This is MDoranD, MDoranD for CardRunners.com. I'm back with another live play session of 200NL on Bovada, 4 tables. Let's just get right to it. Here we go. Okay, we're just going to start right off with 2 hands going on. I just sat down at these tables, so we're not going to have a lot of reads, but if you play anonymous, or if you play on Bovada, or if you play on any of these fast fold tables, not having much read is very, very common, so this could be a good thing as well. As you can see on table 3, I just made a call in my first or second hand at the table with King Jack offsuit. The button, who has played 2 out of 3 hands, it is $300 deep, had opened to $5, and I called with King Jack offsuit. Now I'm just going to be calling with this type of hand until I have some sort of read on my opponent. Once I have even a little bit of a read, this could quickly turn into a 3-bet. Heck, it could even turn into a fold if the situation was absolutely right. But usually it's not going to be a fold. It's going to be a call or a 3-bet. So this is a call here until I have some sort of read. Then the big blind came along as well, so it's 3-handed to the flop, and it's obviously not the most ideal flop for my hand, so I'm usually just going to be giving up here with no reads, 3-handed, and no hand. Now that said, if this flop had, if we had this exact same flop and it was heads up versus the button, let's say that the big blind had folded, then I wouldn't be giving up here. I'd actually probably use this as a rare opportunity to use a reverse float. It's not a common play. And if you've seen my older videos where I talk about rules of floating, reverse floating is something I talk about that you really shouldn't do very often. But actually, I think that this would be one specific scenario where it's okay. A dry ace-high board where we have a Broadway hand. Specifically, I think the reasoning for that is because our opponents are extremely likely to c-bet a dry ace-high board with the vast majority of their range. In fact, I'm much more scared of them checking back on this flop than I am of them betting. Their checking back range actually tends to have a lot of showdown value. I don't do so well with King Jack versus the hands that check back on this flop. But King Jack actually does pretty well versus the hands that will bet here. Yes, if he has the ace, I'm in a world of trouble. But he almost never has the ace. Very rarely. So when I call here, what happens is now he's in a spot where he has no read on me. He opened the button, usually with an incredibly wide range. He hit a flop that he felt like he had the c-bet. And he got a call, and now he's arriving at the turn with a hand that is usually almost nothing. And his opponent called on an ace-high flop. It's a very likely spot for him to shut it down. It's a very common spot for him to shut it down on a turn. So when I check to him on the turn, it's extremely common for me to see them check it back. So when they check back that turn, boom, I already know what I'm doing on the river. I'm betting. It really doesn't even matter what card comes. Maybe unless it's a king, if it's a king, I might bet it for value. Or let's say a jack, I guess. I might check a jack. But on almost all river cards, I'm going to be betting. And I think that you're going to have some fold equity here, too. It's not like we're just betting with the best hand here. He's going to get here with the occasional pair that just doesn't call because, he has no read on you, and you called his c-bet on ace-high board. So this would be a very common spot for me to actually use that reverse float. But I don't think there's many spots in general where I would advocate it. Like I said, here it's 3 ways, so I'm just giving up. Let's move on to the 9-10 suited hand. Now, 9-10 suited, that's a little loose for me under the gun. Admittedly, I don't know if I would generally recommend this as an open hand here. But I was new to the table. I guess I was hoping I could get some credit here, new to the table, and I opened it up. So let's see what happens. I get a call from seat 2. Potential fish. Because of his stack size, just $80. No real read, though. I get squeezed from seat 5. very early in the read. A great spot for seat 5 to be squeezing here with a wide value range, but not a very good spot for him to be squeezing with a bluffing range, simply because of stack sizes with player 2. He can't really bluff here that effectively. So I think this was actually a small mistake on my part. I probably should have just folded pre. If there was a known fish in the blinds, I think I probably should have made this open. But with the fish in seat 2 and kind of short and no real clear fish in the blinds, then maybe this wasn't a great open for me. As played, I just fold, and these two players take it heads up to the flop.